how to create an amazing colourful design using Perlin noise in Affinity Photo. Create something like that. First thing to do, File and New. You've got a new document, go to Layer menu and then New Layer. You need to fill that layer with something, so I'm just going to fill it with Edit menu and Fill, and I'm just going to fill it with black. So Apply. Now I've created the equation already, the procedural texture here. I'm going to put it in the description so you can find it in the description. So Filters menu, Colors and Procedural Texture. To create an equation, click the plus. There's a little plus in the middle on the left side, and that will create an equation. What you need is 3 equations. So plus, 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 and you'll get equations. And you can create R and G and B. Now I've created this already, so it makes it a little bit easier, but I'm just going to, I'll put it in the description, the various values there. It's using OSC, and it's also using the Perlin noise as well. Simply click the plus to create the equation and then set the R at the far side on the right, set that to R, set the second one to G and the third one to B. There's also some parameters as well, some custom inputs, and you can create those by clicking the R right down the bottom. You've got a little R there at the bottom, and you can create those A, B, and C, and obviously all the others as well. And I've been using R all the way through, so just click R and then just set the values to something similar to the values here. And you can see as you enter the values, and you can use the up-down value to enter them, or you can just enter a value, say 200 or 300, etc., into that field. Now, if you want to see more about how you create equations, create parameters, etc., custom inputs, there's lots of other tutorials on the Graphic Extras channel showing you how to do those. But there's the equations that I'm using. The key thing here is this. I've got the red channel and the green channel and the blue channel. I've got 2, 3, and 4. Now I'm just quickly showing you how to add an equation. Just simply do that. Just click that plus, and you can see the initial value is 0, and you can see over the other side you've got the R, G, and B. Well, in this case it's A. Now I don't want that, obviously I'm just going to delete that, but that's how you click and create an equation. I'm just going to remove it. As I say, just click the R's at the bottom to create custom inputs. I mean, you can enter it just as like 2, 2.3, 3.4, and just use it in the equation like that. And you can just edit it each and every time you want to use it like that. But custom inputs make it a lot easier just to vary the value. And again, generate them by clicking the R at the bottom. If you want R's, if you want obviously the other ones, there's integers as well as angles, as well as 0 to 1 and those sort of things. I generally always stick with R. That's just me. But you can create custom inputs. So click R again, and I'm just going to create E, F, and G. And the reason I want E, F, and G is because if you notice, go up to the red, green, and blue, I've actually got 2, 3, and 4 right at the start, just past the OSC. And I want to change those to custom inputs. So I've just created them as 2, 3, 4 as well for the actual value. So 2, 3, 4 have been set. So go up to the equations and you can edit them. Drag that down again. Then just edit the values. Change the 2 in the first equation to the D. And in the second equation, which is the green channel, turn that into an E. And for the last one, obviously at the moment it says 4, turn that into F. And then what you can do, you can vary them via the custom inputs at the bottom, but you can always simply edit them in the actual equations at the top. So once you've done that, I'm just going to run through some of the colourful designs you can create. But obviously the initial setup is needed to show you. And you can simply see by changing the values there that you can end up with some amazing colourful designs. And you can experiment. You just go through it. Like you can go to the B and set it from 800, put it to 400 or 200 or 100 like that. So if I go and put like 20 or 30, make it small, you can see the result is quite intense. Obviously, I prefer to have it maybe like 200 or 300 or 90. And you can see you get a different result each and every time. And obviously, you can change the A value as well. The A value will modify it uniformly across all the channels. That's the reason why I've done the E, F, and G, because I want to alter them independently. That's the reason for that. But also, it's nice to have a control like A, which is uniform across all of the channels. Now, you can create custom presets, but the first thing you need to do is create a preset for the equation you've just created. If you haven't done that, it won't let you create custom inputs. So you can just go over there, right side, and click there and create preset. Now give it a name, Perlin Noise 2345, whatever, and also give it a category. And I like to, well, I've created a category that's got my name. So I know that they're my equations. And of course, whatever your name is, maybe you might like to create a category for that. And once you've created it, what you can now do, you've got your presets, and it always comes up with a default one. That was the settings that were created when you created the preset itself. You can also go to the right side there and create a value presets and give it a name. There's no category for that. So maybe you've just got a red-blue. It's a red-blue effect. You can create that. So now every time you go over to your preset, there's a preset obviously option, you can select that and then you will get that general result. And you can, of course, create lots and lots of presets, maybe 20 or 30, 40 presets, and scroll through them and create all kinds of super colourful designs. Now, you notice there, got using RX. Now, I could have just used X and then Y, but RX is relative, so you can drag it around. Just use the cursor and drag it around. And that's quite great for aligning the design. Apply. And there you've got your effect. So once you've done that, what you can of course do, you can apply it again. You could create a new layer, of course, and apply it to a layer. Perfectly reasonable as well. But what you can do, you can go to the filter menu, colors, and procedural texture again. And what I'm going to do later, I'm going to fade it. So I'm going to apply effect. And so I'm really running without seeing what's behind and how it relates. You don't have to do that, of course. You can always use layers, blending modes, etc. Fortunately, it defaults back to a completely fresh equation, i.e. nothing. But you can bring them back very quickly. Simply go through your presets, as long as you save that preset. And so you've got your design there. And what you can, of course, do, you can either tweak the equation, or you can go down to the various custom inputs and just change some of the values. Maybe A, which is the uniform one, or maybe increase or decrease B. Maybe modify the E, F, etc. Or enter the value there. Because unfortunately it goes up to 100 and it stops. So you have to enter the input value. So you can change the colours there. You can also, if you wish, you can align them because of the RX and RY. You can move the design. So you've got your design applied there. Now, you can't see the underlying design, but you can if you go to Layer menu and Fade Procedural Texture. Weirdly, it's not in the Edit menu, but it's in Layer. Personally, doesn't make much sense there. But anyway, you can change the fade there, just move it, say to the middle or to 0% or 100%. And you can also run through the various blend modes. To see the full-on effect, just put the fade down to 0. I'm not saying why it defaults to 50. I would personally have thought it would have been better at 0%, but got difference there and 0. So you've applied it and now you've got your design. And that's a combination now of the effect as well as the underlying design that you created previously. And you can also fade the fade. So what you can also now do is filters menu and distort and deform. So if you want to deform that, just put some pins on there. I personally prefer the similarity for the constraint, but each their own. And you can distort the design in all kinds of ways. Just makes it you don't get any of the background coming through. So you can just drag in different directions and you can just try. And you can find other tutorials about the deform filter. So I'm not going to go through that now. But you can distort the design in all kinds of ways. Click apply. So you've got your design there. What you can also do, which is maybe even more useful, is a layer menu and new live filter layer. And luckily, colors, procedural texture is in there. So you can create a live layer, which of course you can then modify at any point. And of course, you've created the preset earlier. So you can run through there, the presets. And you can go select the preset. And also the custom input presets are there as well. So you can see you've got your design there. And you can still continue to edit the equations if you wish. You can also change. Now, the key thing here with live filter layers, one, it's live, but you've also got blend modes. So you can just change the blend mode. So you can go for lighten. You can also, of course, change the values as well. So you can run through those and experiment. But you've got a lovely combined design there. Change the sliders, the up down arrows, and you can increase it to 800 if you wish. Or maybe put it 100. You can create all kinds of amazing colourful designs by simply tweaking these settings. And again, you can change blend modes, maybe go for difference again. You notice a pattern here. I like difference. You've got your design, and once you've done that, you can close the panel. Now it's still live, so you can go back and edit it at any point. So if you want to, just go to the layers panel, and you can find that via the view menu, studio, and layers. And you can see your live filter layer. Just go there, just that white, and double click on that to bring up the panel again. And you can edit the various settings. Again, you can change the red, green, or blue channels. You can also change the A setting, B setting. And of course, I've been using A, B, and C. You don't have to use A, B, and C. You could actually have more descriptive set values for those, names for those. So you go like maybe 4 or 20, whatever. And you can tweak that to your heart's content. And once you've done that, what you can do, of course, you can close the panel again, and it's still live, so you can go back and edit it later. But you can rasterize the whole thing, merge them together. You can also duplicate it, so you can create 2 of those procedural textures. And of course, you can go and double click on one of them and change the various settings. Just again, change the A value or B value, etc. Change the blending modes if you wish. Click OK and close it. What you can then do, of course, the same, you can rasterize the whole thing. You can merge it all into one. So layer menu and merge visible. You can get rid of the other one if you wish, or just disable it. So you've got your layer there. What you can then do, of course, you can always go to filters and distort and deform again, or maybe use mirror. add some pins again and distort it again. Change the similarity. Again, try and avoid the edges. It's a pity there's no pin command. I would love to see some. Obviously, there's a pins because you can see the pins there, but it would be nice to be able to pin it by default around the edge so it doesn't suddenly pull the layer away from the edge. It's just a feature I would love to see. I mean, you can force it, of course, by just simply going around with pins to make certain it doesn't move, but that's a bit of a fiddle. So you can see your design there. And once you've done that, remember to click Apply. Quite often I close it without thinking and I lose the effect. Done that a few times. Hope you found this tutorial of interest. Please subscribe to the Graphic Extra channel. Always adding new tutorials about Affinity Photo, Photoshop, Affinity Designer, Illustrator, and many, many others. Please add some comments. Always appreciated. Really nice to hear what you think. Also, a dislike or like. Thank you much.